The ER doctors refused to treat my daughter's allergic reaction. Then they saw my hospital ID badge. My daughter Zara's lips started swelling during dinner at the new Italian restaurant downtown, her 9-year-old face transforming from excited to terrified in the span of seconds. I watched her fork clatter against the plate as she touched her mouth with trembling fingers, her eyes going wide with the recognition that something was very wrong. The hives appeared next, angry red welts spreading across her neck and chest like wildfire. She'd been allergic to shellfish since she was 3, and I'd specifically asked the waiter 3 times if there was any seafood in the marinara sauce. He'd assured me it was completely vegetarian, his confident smile never wavering as he recited the ingredients. I grabbed my phone and EpiPen from my purse simultaneously, the familiar weight of the auto-injector grounding me even as panic tried to claw its way up my throat. Zara's breathing had started to sound tight, a subtle wheeze that I recognized immediately as the beginning of anaphylaxis. I'd been a pediatric emergency physician at Riverside General Hospital for 11 years, and I'd treated hundreds of allergic reactions. But medical knowledge becomes paralyzingly abstract when your own child is the patient, when every textbook symptom you've memorized is manifesting in the face you kiss goodnight every evening. I jammed the EpiPen into her outer thigh through her jeans, counting the required seconds while other diners turned to stare. The epinephrine bought us time, but wasn't a cure, just a temporary break on her body's cascading immune response. We needed a hospital immediately for monitoring and additional treatment. Riverside General was my hospital, where I'd worked every shift for over a decade, but it was 23 minutes away in Friday evening traffic. Mercy Point Hospital was 7 minutes away, a smaller facility I'd never visited, but knew had a full emergency department. Basic math and basic medicine made the choice obvious. I threw cash on the table without counting it, scooped Zara into my arms despite her being too big to carry comfortably anymore, and ran for my car while calling out to the manager that there was shellfish in their supposedly vegetarian sauce. Zara's breathing worsened during the drive, each inhale a labored struggle that made my hands shake on the steering wheel. I talked to her constantly, using my calm doctor voice while my actual emotional state was somewhere between terror and rage. She kept trying to respond but couldn't get enough air for full sentences, just fragments that broke my heart. Mom, I can't, she'd start, then have to stop to gasp. I promised her we were almost there, that the doctors would fix this, that she was going to be fine. The lies came easily because the alternative was unthinkable. I ran 2 red lights getting to Mercy Point, my hazards flashing and horn blaring, praying no cops would slow us down. The emergency entrance was well lit and clearly marked, and I screeched into a spot reserved for ambulances because walking from the parking lot was time we didn't have. I carried Zara through the automatic doors, her weight heavy in my arms, her breathing now a terrifying whistle that meant her airway was closing. The waiting room was half full, people with various non-emergent complaints looking up with curiosity and concern as I rushed past them. I went straight to the triage desk where a nurse in purple scrubs sat typing into a computer, her name tag reading Donna Murphy, RN. I didn't wait for her to acknowledge me before speaking, my voice loud and urgent. My daughter is in anaphylaxis. She needs epinephrine and airway management immediately. Donna looked up slowly, her expression shifting from mild irritation at being interrupted to assessment of the situation. She stood and came around the desk, but instead of the immediate action I expected, she reached for a clipboard. I'm going to need you to fill out some paperwork first. Insurance information, medical history, consent forms. Her tone was bureaucratic, rehearsed, the voice of someone following protocol without thinking about what those protocols meant. I stared at her in disbelief, my arms burning from Zara's weight, my daughter's wheezing growing louder. She's in anaphylactic shock. Look at her. She needs treatment right now, not in 10 minutes after I filled out forms. Donna's expression remained neutral, almost bored. Hospital policy requires registration before treatment, except in cases of obvious life-threatening emergency. She doesn't look that bad to me. She's talking. She's conscious. Fill out the forms and we'll get her seen as soon as possible. The words hit me like a slap. Doesn't look that bad. I was holding my daughter who was actively suffocating from an allergic reaction, whose airway could close completely at any moment, and this nurse was telling me she didn't look that bad. I felt something snap inside me. The professional composure I'd maintained shattering under the weight of maternal desperation. If you don't get a doctor right now, my daughter could die. This is a medical emergency. A security guard appeared from somewhere to my left, a heavy-set man whose hand rested on his belt in a casually threatening posture. Ma'am, you need to calm down. We have procedures here. If you can't follow them, I'll have to ask you to leave. The absurdity of it, the Kafkaesque nightmare of being threatened with removal from a hospital while my child couldn't breathe, sent me past fear into a kind of cold fury. I'm not going anywhere without treatment for my daughter. Get me a doctor now or I'm going to start screaming until someone with actual medical judgment comes out here. Then the security guard took a step closer.